All right, everybody, welcome to the podcast. Calvin Ford, one of the best coaches out there, down there in the Baltimore, D.C. area. How you feeling?
Man, I'm doing all right, man. It's an honor to be here with y'all today.
Congratulations. A lot of big
Thank
stuff
you.
going on for you and your team down there.
Yeah, we just trying to be making some noise. We've been on that same trail.
Damn, we did it.
So mess with Howell Turnoff from Salisbury, Maryland. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
That's
is
been
that?
a lot of years.
Yeah.
We've been falling a bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
Hey, we all come, like
That's
I
how
said.
far I can take you back. I could go as far. Yeah, I can go farthest back with you from the amateurs too. That's how long I've been around. People don't know it.
Do you know it? Do you remember any fights that you saw me with? Anybody down there from your camp?
Man, I remember Cecil was around, but y'all never went against each other or anything. But we was around when Cecil was around and whatnot. But I used to watch y'all because I was just coming in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Then Ward was great making his little run. That's why I'm like the young coach, but I was around all y'all when y'all was making y'all move.
And my dad was the same way. It was like if you're doing the right things, you're listening to everybody else, and you're trying to be in everyone's huddle.
Yeah.
Even though they haven't exactly said, "Hey, come on in here." You try to get as close to the huddle as you can to get that information, with the hopes that eventually you wind up where my dad is, where I am, you and Tank and a bunch of other coaches out there. And speaking on that, let me go back just a little bit. I don't know if they're gonna do that, but I definitely want to go back to the clip that I sent you of us just kind of having some fun on the show, and you were brought up and how you correlate with the show.
The Wire.
Hey, I apologize.
So what my question is, so coming out of prison, was that your plan, your goal was to get into boxing and to reach out and help?
Nah, to tell you the truth, it wasn't on my mind, to tell you the truth. That's the funny thing about it. I was coming home to start a baker, because that's what I did the whole time I was in. I was working on my coordinating skills on learning how to bake, and I was real good at it. So I wanted to come home and start a place where I could take kids and fix cakes and apple cobblers and all that stuff, and they had the party there at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was working for Phillips Food. I had worked my way all the way up as the youngest African American manager in a company. And I had just purchased a house, and my nephew and my son was in the basement hitting the bag. And I said something to my cousin, because my cousin used to box. I said, "Yo, you taught them anything?" They said, "Nah." So Marvin McDowell, that that got the books before hooks, he had a gym on the west side, but I lived way on the east side, but my job was on the west side. So I said, "Man, I got to drive all the way on the east side, pick up the kids, drive all the way back on the west side, and then go all the way back home." I said, "Man, I ain't trying to do it." And it so happened, Merrill O'Malley started the gym with Hassan Rockman, won the title. This is the crazy thing. Hassan left Baltimore and went to Vegas.
Yep.
And I just happened to step in the gym with my kids, right? And was in there working out. And for me, being in prison for so long, working out and keeping in shape, Mr. Leon Fitzgerald said, "Man, all the kids gravitate to you. You get what I'm saying? I need a guy like you." And the rest was history.
Boom.
I got two questions just to follow up on that immediately. So first off, what is the Calvin Ford? If somebody's like, "Give me the best baked item you can make," what's the go-to right now? Somebody gets you in the kitchen.
Cheesecake. I was cheesecake. That's how I got on with Phillips Food.
Cheesecake. Hey, let me get 2 cheesecakes.
Cheesecake Calvin Ford?
Oh no! Don't do that to him.
That's not a nickname.
That's my specialty.
So my other question is Wire related, because it is one of my favorite shows of all time. Outside of Cuddy, obviously based on you, if you were an actor on The Wire, what character would you have wanted to play?
What character I would play? I would play actually myself.
All right, let's get back to boxing. Beginning of the 6th round. Did you tell him to go out there and do that boy like that?
In the sixth round, that I remember Santa Cruz was going to make his run in the 5th round. You know what I'm saying? He said he was going to take Tank in the deep water in the 5th round. So if you notice in that fight in the 5th round, Santa Cruz was standing still. And I was like, dang, he don't want to fight that fight like that. And they was going at it. At that 6th round, that 5th round, it started it off. And when Tank hit him in the body, they said it was a low blow. If you go back and look at the tape, it wasn't a low blow. He felt them body shots. So that's what really opened the fight up for Tank when he got hit with that body shot the first time. You know what I'm saying? Because we kept dialing in on an uppercut. If you look at from the round 1 all the way up until he got caught with that shot, we was looking at it. It's a shot that I call it trickeration, or punch to the ceiling. He threw the uppercut to the ceiling and caught him perfectly with it.
Yeah, and that punch started from the very first round. And my whole thing is, as a fighter, you have to be able to recognize what your opponent wants to do.
Right.
That punch, I mean, you came into the ring with the uppercut. Did you know that was going to be money for you at some point during the night?
If you go back and look at Santa Cruz's fight, he leans when he punched. He leans over. The fight that I really studied to watch him real good was Abu Mars and Santa Cruz. That was the best fight because a lot of time he had his head down throwing punches. He wasn't even looking, to tell you the truth. You know, so I knew we had Tank. Tank didn't even know. Like Tank will watch fights, but I don't get him into watching fights like that. I tell him to watch fights where he enjoy watching it. You with me? Let me watch the fight, because what I do is I train him to throw the punches that I need him to do so they can come off. It just comes straight off when I need him to come off, you know? But sometimes when you watch tapes and you wait for a guy to do something, he might have changed his whole MO up, or he might have trained with somebody else to imitate them to look way different. And I had that happen to me with other guys that I went to the ring with, and you notice a guy don't fight the same when you get there.
So Coach, real quick, that's something that you actually try to pull your fighters away from watching too much film or watching what someone else does, with just basically protecting them from themselves of picking up someone else's habits or trying to do something else instead of being themselves. Right.
And then you find a lot of coaches and everybody doing that. They have the fighter watching the fight and he looking for them to make a certain move. Doesn't happen.
Was there anything as far as that? You mentioned Leo possibly changing stuff up, kind of preventing Tank from that. Was there anything that surprised you about what Leo did that night? Because, it was a close fight early on.
That's what surprised me, because he was watching All Access. He was moving correctly. He brought in the strengthening, so I'm saying that he's doing different stuff, and I'm looking at him and say, okay, so I'm figuring that's what he's going to do. He's going to try to stay from the big shots. He's going to try to stay away from Tank. But he didn't do that. He fought Leo.
Coach, that's
and
crazy.
I was like, oh my God, you really want to do that?
That's crazy. So y'all not in the camp, but you watching Access to find out what's really going on in the camp.
Man, guess what? You get information any way you can, man.
You a dirty dude. You a dirty dude for that. Go ahead.
Yeah, me and Shawn was talking. All three of us was talking before the fight. We was like, Frampton, Morris, he gets in brawls and everything. And I seen you on All Access telling no matter what, he wants to brawl. And when I was thinking about, we was talking about this whole fight. This guy's different. You can't brawl with this dude. You brawl with this dude, you might die. Like, but yeah. So, and it just, I remember you saying it. No matter what he had planned, his body just went back to brawling, and that's where he can't get in that cage with him.
That's your DNA. I don't care what nobody say. Everybody have a DNA. I don't care who's training, who's around you. You got a DNA. You're going to switch something right now. But if something goes wrong, you're going to result back to your old stuff at some point. And the only way they pull you back after the bell ring, you'll go back into what y'all was working on. But sometimes when the fight get heated, you're going back to your DNA.
I love what you said, Coach. We all have a DNA. Your DNA and your DNA aligns right in with Tank's DNA. And I know Tank came out to Vegas and did a major portion of this camp in Vegas, even prior to you being here. Were you worried at all about his DNA changing, about anything or lack?
No, because Tank, Tank grew up with me. That's my baby. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We're in tune. Actually, when Floyd got in his ear, it enhanced what he was doing, to tell you the truth, because guess what? We still ain't seen the best of Tank yet. You know what I'm saying? We ain't seen the best of Tank. I know what Tank is capable of doing. It's just him learning how to be patient and don't look for the knockout. If you always listen to my interviews, I don't like knockout. I like when a guy get punished. When he get punished, and when they ask him the question, who's your best fight? He gonna remember. Most time you get caught with a shot, you don't remember when you got caught with a shot.
Absolutely.
But when a guy really whoop you, you're gonna remember that.
and you mentioned Floyd and kind of getting involved there. It was something we mentioned after the fight. How do you, you're the main coach, obviously, how do you balance that where you want Floyd to have input but don't want him to kind of take over? How do you balance that out?
Well, me and Floyd, we have our conversation. I respect Floyd respect me, and we grew to have an understanding with each other, you know. But like I look at it, I'm standing with greatness. So listening to him is helping me to be great too. You know what I'm saying? Because he been in the ring doing it. You know what I'm saying? I raised Tank. Mm-hmm. So it's like having two how would I sit there and say navigators. You know what I'm saying? One is getting more in depth in the ring, and one watching and knowing what to say to him to actually bring up the best.
I love it. Hey, listen, Coach, we're gonna let you go, but before we do that, we know that in boxing there's a couple of things that's gonna happen. It's gonna be what the team wants, it's gonna be what the business wants, and then it's gonna be what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen next for Tank?
Well, to my understanding, it's based. I always say this too: if it doesn't make dollar sense, it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, I want him to stay on that pay-per-view level and whatnot. Because it's a good look. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, when it's all over, you want to make sure you can take care of your family and everything. And like yourself, you're doing great. So if you choose to stop boxing, you got a career. So I'm trying to make sure that he make the right decision, put his money up, do what he wants. He's still young. You with me? So right now, you know, I just go off with Al, Floyd, what them to do. Once the contract comes past my desk, I get them ready for whoever they put in front of them.
You got any names out there, particular? Any names in particular?
Shucks. It's only two people that on the business side. I don't think they will let Tank fight. What's his name? That just from Top Rank. I don't know if they'll let him fight right off the back. I don't think Bob would do that right away. You know what I'm saying? Because I know he want to see some dollars because he ain't make a lot of money from off that fight first. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know where their situation is. Ron Garcia, that's maybe a person I'm with because he always taking a pen, sticking Tank with it all the time. So that's a person that I like to see him because Tank was supposed to fight Tevin Farmer, but Tevin Farmer messed that up. You know what I'm saying? Right. And Ron always saying something. So people and his numbers, they would like to see that fight, you know.
I hear you, Coach. But listen, we are proud of you.
They the only two that I look at.
I hear you.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. We're proud of you. Congratulations. And we look forward to seeing not only Tank, but seeing you real soon.
Hey, Coach, before you go.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. You keep doing what you're doing, Sean.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
yes,
Coach,
sir.
before you go, don't do Ryan like that.
Don't do Ryan. Hey, I don't know. Ryan come to party. I like him. He come to party. So it'll be a different look, though. You know, he come to party. So we'll see.
Take care, Coach. Have a great night.
You too. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. Don't tell me you didn't enjoy what you saw because I know you did. What you need to do now, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, hit that notification button. Check us out every week, every Tuesday, something new for you right here on the Porter Way Podcast.